Hey, welcome back to another episode of AI Music Gear. Today, we're checking out the REVV G20. The REVV G20 is a lunchbox style amp modeled after the legendary REVV Purple channel. It's a 20 watt amp, tube driven, two channels. You've got gain with 3 stages of aggression, and you've got your clean channel. Before we get started, I do want to cover that nobody is sponsoring this video. Nobody sent me this equipment. I purchased it with my own money, and these are my own thoughts and opinions. So to go over some of the specs, I'm sure you guys can look it up, but just for completeness, I'm just going to go over them real quick before we give it a listen. It's a 40 watt, and it has the ability to switch down to 4 watts as well. Obviously, it's a tube-driven amp head. You got your 2 channels, you got clean, and you've got the gain, and it's got 3 different aggression modes with the gain. It does have the 2-note modeling cabinet emulation built in it, and you can store, I think, up to 5 presets into the box. So if you actually take this out gigging, you could run it to front of house, and you have your cabinet IRs already stored in there. What else do we have here? Yeah, that's the reactive load automatically built in it, so you don't even need to have the speaker box plugged in or your cabinet. 3-band EQ. I notice it doesn't have a presence knob, but that's okay. It sounds open enough, I think, in my opinion. It does have an open button down here on the bottom. You can hit it to get a little bit more of that open sound. So that's the main. It has an effects loop, and it's got the 4 or 8 ohm switchable cabinet outputs on it, and the rest is pretty nominal, I think, as far as what the capabilities that come with the amp. So we'll go ahead and check it out. Alright, let me put this noise gate on in the background. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and check out the next gain stage here. Aggression, if you will. So you can hear a little bit of the difference. I'm going to go back to the first gain stage and hit all three of them back to back so you can kind of hear the difference. Go ahead and do the open button on and off. So here's this is already open, so we'll start with it off, then we'll click it on. I could hear it more on the blue channel as opposed to just the red channel. So I guess the second stage of aggression. Really didn't hear it much back here. Yeah, definitely hear it a lot more on the second, the blue stage, and I think I like it better with it on. This is off right now. And we'll click it on. gonna check out that third stage now. All right. Alright, let's go ahead and kick on the overdrive and see what it sounds like. This is the Tube Screamer, and I believe I've got my noise gate on, so let's give it a listen. Not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and try the Super Overdrive by Boss, and we'll go ahead and see how that one sounds. Kind of digging the Boss a little more. Let's go ahead and check out the Grind by Fortin. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I think the last one we have here is the MXR Badass Overdrive Modified, whatever. Let's go ahead and check that out. I don't know. I kind of liking the Fortin a little more on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on. I don't know, kind of hard to tell. That one you got to dial in a little bit more than the others, just because it gets so bright and it kind of tinny a little bit, that half cocked wah pedal, if you will. But regardless, I think it sounds good with all overdrive pedals on, and it even sounds good with no overdrive on. So who is this amp for? In my opinion, this amp, you could almost do anything with it. You could gig with it in the sense that you could run it to front of house. It has the cab IRs you can preload into it, store 5 of them, and it has the 2 notes cabs that already come built in with it. So you could also run this right into your audio interface and record with it. So I think studio use, perfect. It's got that purple sound that we're all looking for the Big Brother Rev. And gigging out, ideally you're not going to be able to plug this into a cabinet and play with an acoustic drum kit and be able to hear everybody. This is going to get drowned out by the drum kit. You're definitely not going to be able to practice with it like that. But if you have a drummer that can pull it back a bit, or if you've got digital drum set that you're practicing with, you can definitely practice with it. But normal setting, no, I would say it's just not loud enough for that. But you can run it in front of house, and nowadays a lot of bands are just grabbing their IRs and preloading them and taking a simple setup, and they're able to gig with it, because front of house nowadays is a lot more complex than it used to be, with some crappy speakers, and you have to argue with somebody to get your level set. So awesome. And you could actually run a line out into your cabinet and use that as your monitors. So yeah, awesome amp for gigging if you're gonna run it to front of house, and it's definitely noteworthy to record in the studio, because I've had some great mixes with it. So really, on that note, I don't think there's much more to cover on this. It comes with everything but a foot switch. So it comes with a bag to store it in. A couple other, I forget what all it came with. Obviously, you could check out the music stores and see what it comes with. But it didn't come with a foot switch, which I thought was kind of, I would have rather had the foot switch and you keep the storage bag for the amp. But other than that, I can't complain. I've been kind of a Rev fan for a little while now, ever since I've had that the purple pedal that they came out with, modeled after the purple channel of the larger Rev amp. So I had that pedal, fell in love with it, and I've used it ever since I got this. Now that I have this, I really don't use the pedal. Be kind of interesting to see how the pedal would sound going through here clean, through the clean channel on here, then toggling back and forth between the dirty aggression modes, just to see where it kind of stacks up. But neither here nor there. Great amp. I'm really a big fan of it, and I think that's really it. I really don't have much else to say about it. Yeah, So until next time, thank you. Take care.